Hello everyone, Mike Money Gamer here and welcome to City Skylines, also known as City Skylines After Dark because of my DLC, or in other cases, Match Day, which is something that came out recently, but I'm going to wait a little bit to do something with that because it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing right now. I want to actually do a tutorial type of thing, which is outside of my usual thing, but I've started messing around with the map editor, the map editor, and you see, it can be kind of difficult if you've never done it before. So I would recommend starting with temperate and say create, and then you come on in here, right? Now, this game doesn't give you any tutorial on this at all, and I'm sure there's tutorials available online, but I want to do this for my viewers specifically. And don't worry, our usual videos will be coming into play and all that. So how this all works is you have the requirements. The requirements are as follows. I just want to make sure it didn't go away. Have water stream in the starting area, have at least one incoming highway connection, and have at least one outgoing highway connection. And then you can have these other things like one train track, one ship, one plane path, oil, forest, fertile lands, and ore. So if you scroll out, you can see that they don't have anything for you to start out with. Like there's no lakes, there's no nothing. How this works is kind of strange. What you have to do is you have to come into the terrain and you want to adjust the terrain a certain way. Now, I don't think it's this one, is it? Yes, it is that one. This one does, the shift one does something different. So if you want it to be 0, you come over here. Let's do a brush size of about 200. No, okay. 600. Yeah, that's more like it. And then you click, like so, near the edge here. Now, as you notice, immediately what that does is it allows water to start forming in your town. So what you want to do is you just kind of want to build yourself a little, lake, so to speak, or in this case, ocean. And as you see, if you speed up time, it'll just start fueling into your area here. Now, as you may notice immediately, some issues with this. Unless you have the rest of your area, higher than it, for example, because it can only let you go so far down. What ends up happening is you end up with everything else being too low. So I want to click on this. Oh, come on. And do 1. And then I want to do 2,000 will let me. And just start having everything else. Oh crap, that's not actually bigger, that's actually smaller. Undo that. I'm trying to remember, I think it would probably be 3? No, not 30. 3. Let's see if that helps. No, that's still kind of small. And we're totally overdue. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best expert for you to, kind of dedicate this from. Actually, what you can do is you can kind of come in here to water and restart to sea level, and then it'll kind of help the water get lower. And it'll also just fill everything up immediately, so it stops like kind of rushing over. And then you can also kind of have the I think there's like a way to have the sea level be lower too. Kind of go like that, and then it's a little bit lower, and that'll keep you from getting this nasty looking desert on like the side there, you know. And like this is kind of a really huge ass lake, yes, and like ocean, but don't worry, it's not that bad. Let's put this back to 0, and actually it's kind of, whoa, no, okay. Let's put it back to, I think it was like 600, right, is what I said? Yeah. And just kind of have it go through our town. And one such way I've come to like get this to really work is by kind of doing something like this. That way they don't get screwed over by you know, other such things. So if you want to speed up the process, just you know, go boom, it'll fill up real fast all the way through here like so. And okay, looks like it won't flood over for right now, so that's good. So okay, so now you have this. Now here's something that's really funny here. Now, you know how when you start a new area, you have 0 wind speed in like a lot of places? Well, as you notice here, they don't actually put anything that can cause that to be an issue. If you want to cause people to have an issue with that, you want trees. And here's how this works. You click a spot, and trees will start to grow. There, right? And I kind of do this thing where I kind of do it in like the corners. Have some near like the water as well. And just kind of put like a big old forest here. And now if you look at wind, you'll notice that immediately these trees stop wind from coming into your town. So like I said, if you want to really screw people up and make them not be able to use wind power immediately, you'll want to put things like mountains, trees, and shit like that, right? Now, how this works is another thing you want to keep an eye on. If you look at your water here, you notice that it doesn't like really show you the direction of the water right now. So right now, the only place where water is really coming from is here, correct? So if a person was to make a, you know, like if they made their pump stations here, it would probably be for the best if they put their pump stations up here and their sewage runoff this direction, because as you can see, there's nothing that says where this water is going. If you want to manipulate that, you can come here into water and do a water source tool, and you can click just like anywhere, like right here. And what that will do is once that starts going, which it will tend to flood this a little bit, it will control the path of water. Now, as you may notice here, it has it going in all directions, right? Chances are with this, it does tend to flood your area a little bit, so be careful when doing this. And also just kind of helps you manipulate where the water flow is going. Okay, so now that we've done that, we have some things that it wants us to do, right? It says, next, we want to have at least one incoming and one outgoing highway connection. Now, if you're looking at this, you're like, oh, okay, so that means that the road only has to end, like, what, here? No. Okay, so you want your highway, right? And you want it to kind of come from here. So, now then, what you want to check is to see which way this highway is pointing and see how it's pointing out this direction now. So what you want to do is keep following it, and what I kind of tend to do is page up a couple times to make like a nice, cool looking bridge here. So that I can build stuff underneath it later, of course. And you might have to adjust your camera here. And just have it leaving out the town. So now you have one incoming and outgoing highway connection. Now, how this works is if you really wanted to only have just one road type, like, you know, like if you only want to have one connection like this, right now this is only going out, is what it should be doing, right? I mean, it can have people coming in too, and they can stop into your town, but they will never actually come back, you know? So how do you fix this problem? Well, you can do it many number of ways. If you want to kind of do what they do, you want to put a road, like, you know, right next to the other one. And how I'd recommend you do this is you start over here, kind of come over here, just have it go like this. That's one way you can do it. You can also kind of turn it into like a bridge if you want. I mean, like, that seems like such a fun idea. I think I might just do that. Because, like, I mean, it's gonna have to be up anyway. So then just kind of stretch this all the way over here to about here. And then as before, you know, put it down and have it go out. There you go. Now you have two options here. Now, what a lot of people do at this point is they will either use, like, you know, something similar to this, like the three-way intersection, and you can do that. You can connect it somehow. Now, actually, I forgot to mention this. If you don't want to build it yourself, like, see, I just built this my whole self, right? And it looks pretty awesome, but here's one issue. This clover leaf, if you want to use it as your, you know, way into your town, there's supposed to be a way to rotate it, if I remember right, so that it points the opposite direction. Ah, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Get rid of it. Yeah, you can't just delete the whole thing, sadly. Actually, you know what? Before I make any more mistakes here, let's go ahead and save our map. And just call it whatever. There you go. And so, okay, so now that I've shown you that clover leaf, here's what we want to do. How about we have it where, like, how about we just make one ourselves? Like we could just do that, right? And how you can do that is you can kind of go something similar to, you know, this. Like you can go, That's not right at all. Shit. Okay. You know how I said that my mouse is being weird? It still is. It kind of thinks that every time I'm right-clicking, I'm actually left-clicking. So, my apologies on that. So we want to actually come out like this. So see, now you have one like that. You can do something similar to that. You can also have it, if you'd rather them have to go through the trees, you can have them do that there. But for this one, you will have to have it come off this way. Curve. Wait, hold on. Like that. Hold on a second. Why is it giving me... Oh, hold on, I know why. There you go. When in doubt, use the trusty escape key. Okay. I wonder... Can I actually... Yes, I can. Okay, good. How far down can I go? Okay. There we go. So something like that. It looks really bad. But, I mean, it works, right? So this is like your basic of basic things. So now you have two options for them to get into the town, right? So, let's say you want to start moving on to the next bit. So if you want to add more stuff to the environment, you can do it by this environment tab. And you can add, like, you can make it look like desolate areas, like right here with the sand. So, like, yeah, that area looks horrible. You can put, like, you know, little rocks and shit everywhere like that. See, you can do stuff like that. It looks horrible, but you can do that. You can come into... no, not that. The aura option. And you can put, like, you know, like, some oil here... some ore here, you know, that kind of stuff to make them like be like, ooh, I want to go that way at some point with my town, right? Or if you just really want to be nice, you can put some fertile farmland in their place right ahead, so that they can immediately start with farming at that place. That is an option. Like, you can do that. So yeah, my thing that I've done a lot of is I will do stuff like this, like I'll just put like giant little forests in places to try and, you know, kind of appease the fact that there is freaking wind spots everywhere. I kind of want to make it, you know, a little difficult by doing stuff like that, right? So like you can also just go boom, just like that, come into the thing, check the wind, and say, oh yeah, now they can't use that area if they wanted to. Of course, the bigger, better areas for wind right now appear to be here, and stuff like, you know, like the spawn points also has like really good air as well. So yeah, that's an option. You can do something like that. Like you can say, oh, like near the end of the map, of course, there's going to be a best place. But let's say you want to add some like mountains or like, you know, just slopes or whatever. For this, I recommend, you know, being very, very cautious about this. So use the secondary mouse button to use the set the final position of the slope on the terrain. Click the primary mouse and drag toward the final position. Alright, so, okay, so just set it to what it was before. What happens if you just, yeah, there we go. So now we got this really cool looking like slope thing, right? And those really affect wind. See, like look at that. So let's say you want to definitely screw someone over. You can come in here to the level tool, and you can just put a freaking huge ass mountain in the middle of the thing like this. Like that, boom. See, now there's a huge freaking mountain in there. Of course, we don't want to do that, because then they can't even build, because like they can't even put a road around that. But what I would do, like, is I would just kind of go like, you know, something like this, so that they can never build in that spot. Because like, there's no reason to, right? So you just kind of build a mountain there and be like, haha, you will never be able to build in this spot. And then it also affects their wind production, where they can't put wind there either. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we got plenty of time left. So yeah, you kind of got everything you need already. So, I think that's a good stopping point for this episode. You kind of got an idea of how to, like a good point for this is you learned how to put highways in, and you also learned how to put trees and ore and all that stuff in the map. In the next episode, we will go over how to kind of, Okay. We will learn how to put ship path connections, plane path, and train tracks. We'll learn how to do all of those. So look forward to that. Till then, everyone. Bye.